So, as we discussed in this morning's video, last night's vote didn't go well for the government.
Order! Order!
The ayes to the right, 328. The noes to the left, 301.
So the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Unlock!
In his statement after the result, Johnson said that he was planning to call a general election.
Of course, point of order, the Prime Minister.
Says, I don't want an election, the public don't want an election. But if the House votes for this bill tomorrow, the public will have to choose who goes to Brussels on October the 17th to sort this out and take this country forward. And that would be the only way to resolve this. And I can confirm that we are tonight tabling a motion under the Fixed Term Parliament Act.
The Fixed Term Parliaments Act means that 2/3 of MPs need to support the move for it to go ahead. Johnson doesn't even have a majority of MPs within his own party, let alone 2/3, so he's going to need the opposition to join his fight. Opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn said,
Point of order, Jeremy Corbyn.
He wants to table a motion for a general election. Fine, get the bill through first in order to take no deal off the table.
So in this video, we're going to discuss whether or not Labour will support the general election. The rest of the video is actually an extract from TLDR's new podcast, Too Long Didn't Read. In the episode, I discuss with one of our lead writers, Zach, the possibility of Corbyn agreeing to this plan. And his reaction hasn't been great to that. I mean, it doesn't really fit with his mantra he's been going for, the whole no ifs, no buts, we're not asking for an extension stuff. So that means that he's proposing that there's a general election instead to kind of take some of the pressure off him. So yeah, how does that play out, do you think?
Well, it was sort of interesting because before yesterday, so before the 3rd of September, I think most people thought that Corbyn and the Labour front benches would have supported the idea of a general election. And so when Boris proposed it, according to the Fixed Term Parliament Act, he needs 2/3 of all MPs to agree with him for us to have a general election. And I think before yesterday, people thought that Corbyn would have backed that. And even if Corbyn did back it, it wasn't actually a completely closed question. There was always a chance that enough Labour MPs who were worried about losing their seats, and there are quite a lot of them, would actually not support Corbyn, especially because he doesn't have great command of the whip. But anyway, yesterday Corbyn came out and said that actually he's not going to support Johnson's call for a general election. And nominally he said this is because something Tony Blair pointed out, there was a chance that Boris could actually change the date of the election, so he could promise the 14th of October. Actually, apparently that falls on a Jewish holiday, so 15th. It's now the 15th. Yeah. He could promise the 15th of October, and then a little bit into the campaign, change it to the, the 1st of November or something, so that he still gets to campaign on the whole, like, we're leaving, no ifs, no buts. But realistically, it's probably because if they can get the legislation through that forces an extension, it doesn't look good for the Conservatives politically. It's not a good optic. And hopefully, or at least hopefully from Corbyn's point of view, that will make space for a sort of Brexit party resurgence. Because you can see exactly how Farage is going to spin that one. Like it's the same thing. You didn't leave. You told us you were going to. And he almost has some ammunition. To most of us, it looks like Boris has played hardball. But Farage, could say something like, if you really wanted to leave, you would have prorogued from 2nd all the way through to the 1st of November. You didn't do everything you could have done, and here we are. And also, the Brexit Party vote is a bit of a protest vote. I mean, especially given how few major policies they have and the chance of them actually becoming in government. So even if Boris was forced into it, you're still probably going to see some people moving maybe back to the Brexit Party. Anyway, that's basically why Corbyn is not going to support the motion today, because he wants to force through extension legislation, which will both guarantee that the campaign period doesn't overrun past Brexit deadline, but will also probably hurt Boris's electoral chances.
Yeah, and without Labour's support, it doesn't look hopeful at all that
there is no chance.
Well, 2/3, as you said, the Fixed Term Parliament Act mandates that he needs 2/3 support for the general election to be called.
Especially with Boris's healthy majority of -43, which is...
Yeah, it's not looking great for him anymore.
No.
So he definitely needs opposition support. He needs Labour support. Even just looking at maybe Labour MPs who would rebel, it's not adding up.
There were only 2 who rebelled.
Exactly. But yeah, he really needs Labour's kind of official backing. He needs Corbyn on side.
He needs front bench support from that.
And without it, that doesn't look likely the general election call will end up going through. But as you were saying, Corbyn made it very clear last night that he wasn't even going to consider supporting a general election until that's been passed. And actually it was officially confirmed by Labour last night. As soon as the motion is given royal assent and passes into law, they will officially begin to support the general election. So there's a clear pathway towards Johnson getting the general election he wants.
Yeah.
It just requires him to be kind of like forced into it, requesting extension, which is something he clearly doesn't want. If you enjoyed that and want to hear more, I have good news. That was only a tiny section of the full episode, where we discussed the result in more detail, the Tory deselections, the potential for a general election, and what this means for Brexit. If you want to check out the full episode, it's available on the TLDR podcast YouTube channel, as well as through some podcast services. Though, as a new show, it's still being set up on some services. For a full list of where you can listen, updated as things change, head over to tldrnews.co.uk/toolong. To be kept up to date on everything Brexit, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Also, you can hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a video. And if you want to find more from TLDR, you can find us across all social networks simply by searching for TLDR News. And if you want your name at the end of the videos, just like these people, then be sure to back us on Patreon. There's a link to that in the description.